How's it going, YWC? Guy on the internet who doesn't like reviews. TNA Slammiversary pay-per-view review. Solid show. Nothing, awesome or whatever. It was just a pretty solid show with a couple standout matches. Was it as bad as some of the blind TNA haters would have you believe? No. What I think this show did was pretty much it cemented that TNA does have good wrestling, and to the people who don't really like TNA, is either going to do one or two things. One, people are going to say, well, TNA is pretty good and it's not as bad as everybody says or whatever. Or it's just going to be the people that say, I don't like TNA, blah blah blah, blind hate, and just basically just throw dirt because that's what they do. They see things one way and they aren't going to give anything else a chance. So it's not going to change some minds of people who hate TNA because that's what they do. They're blind haters, but it might have turned some people away. I mean, turn some people on to the show. Anyway, starts off with the fatal four-way for the X Division title. Eddie Edwards versus Trevor Lee versus Andrew Everett versus DJZ. It was pretty much the teaming of the Helms Dynasty versus DJZ and Eddie Edwards for most of the match. And then Andrew Everett and Lee got into it because Lee broke up a pinfall on Andrew Everett and they were fighting over it, whoever. And then it broke down into Trevor Lee and Eddie Edwards. Trevor Lee tried to go for his finisher on Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards countered it into a roll-up pin, which was a fast-paced, energetic match, but then it ended in a pinfall. It was sort of like a lot of momentum, and they just halted it. I kind of wish it would have been sort of a twist ending, but I'm happy that Eddie Edwards won. Now I'm wondering where they're going to go with that. Then you have Grado and Mabali Shera versus the Tribunal. Pretty good showing from the Tribunal. Grado and Shera. Still, it's still not there. It's like you got two good things. Grado's good. Shera, he can be great. It hasn't gelled yet. The Tribunal, they were just working on all cylinders here. Like, they are a standout tag team. And the only thing I felt that was bad in this match was the way the Tribunal won. So the Tribunal hit, I don't know what the Tribunal's finisher is. I thought it was like they lift up double slam, but Grado kicked out of that one. And then they have the finisher was Basil Baraka. Barondas hit a backbreaker on, I think it was Grado. And then Basil Baraka hit a double axe handle from the top rope. And I was just like, it doesn't feel like a finisher. Like, they need a cool finish. Every tag team needs a cool finisher. Hart Dynasty had the Heart Attack. Hardy Boys had the double swantons, so forth and so on. It's a good tag team. They need a cool tag team finisher. But besides that, pretty solid match, and whatever. Then you get into Maria versus Gail Kim. Gail comes out to the ring. Out comes Maria wearing, I don't know what kind of dress she was wearing. It's like had handprints or whatever. Anyway, she comes out with Allie, and Allie says that Maria has a legitimate broken hand. Gail says, like, you're faking, blah, 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 blah. Out comes the new investor for TNA, Billy Corgan. Oh, let me speak on that. You assholes in the IWC. Oh, they're being bought by Nazis. They're being bought by... They got bought, not bought, but now Billy Corgan is a minority investor. So it's staying in-house in TNA. You guys, like I said, IWC, Dave Meltzer, fucking liars, all of them. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They have no idea about the news. And out of all this, Billy Corgan is the man who's the minority investor for TNA. How the fuck do you assholes feel about lying? I'm just wondering. Anyway, he comes out and says that Maria's stuff is 100% legitimate, but because Gail Kim is looking forward to this match or whatever, that Gail Kim's going to be added into the women's title match. So now it turns into a three-way. Gail Kim versus Sienna versus Jade for the Knockouts title. And this was, up until now, the best match on the card. Jade and Gail Kim, excellent performances. and you get a little bit of power game from Sienna. But in the end, the match came with this first twist of the night. So Gail Kim, no, Sienna, they both hit finishers on each other or whatever. And then Gail Kim tries to eat the feet on Sienna. Hits it, goes for the pinfall. Allie pulls out Gail Kim, and Gail Kim punches out Sienna and then chases Gail Kim out to the back or whatever. And while all that's going on, the referee's distracted. Out comes not Gail Kim, but Marty Bell to make the save, supposedly for Jade, because Allie threw the belt inside for Sienna to hit Jade. But Marty Bell stepped in and has something like, if you ever seen Watch Dogs, the club that Aiden Pierce uses, she had that, but instead of hitting Sienna, she turns around and just whacks Jade in the back of the neck. And I liked it because it tied the storyline, because Jade, she disbanded herself from the Dollhouse and Marty Bell. And pretty much, if you've been watching like the One Night Onlys and some of the other stuff, Jade's been not too nice to Marty Bell and pretty much making her look like an ass clown. So this is a bit of revenge for Marty Bell. And hopefully, she has this new look or whatever for Marty Bell. Hopefully they stay with that and they get these two into a feud. I think it could be awesome, especially if they give Marty Bell a lot of mic time, because she's very good on the mic. So we have a new women's champion in Sienna, aka Asa K. Stay classy, ladies and gentlemen. Then you move on to the next match, which was James Storm. He got challenged by Braxton Sutter. And this match, if you were thinking like one of those people, oh, what's James Storm going to do now about Ruthless Love? Shut your mouth, because James Storm put on a fucking clinic here. He pretty much walked, whatever you want to call it, all over Braxton Sutter. Like, Braxton Sutter got in a couple of offensive moves, but this was James Storm, man, proving that he is one of the best singles wrestlers in not only TNA, but around the world. Just everything Braxton Sutter tried to do, James Storm either had a counter or you just one step ahead. And in the end, James Storm wins with a last call super kick. I guess now he may take Braxton Sutter under his wing, because after the match, he hands Saxton Sutter a beer, and I'm thinking, okay, he's going to do the traditional thing where he's going to smash the ball over the guy's head, blah, 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 and he's going to start a feud. But no, this was more of a respect move, and hopefully that's the plan they go, where Storm takes a guy up under his wing, they become a tag team. I guess that's what Storm is paying for. I guess it ties into the Revolution thing where he takes people under his wing. And Storm's a very accomplished tag team wrestler, obviously, but he can get it done in singles. So, let's say he forms a tag team with Sutter and he builds him up. Then you have the switch. Then you have that happen. People want this to happen like now. Let Saxton have his humble gimmick. Let him keep that. Not too bad. No, bum him out like Sami Zayn where he just loses and then don't do that. Have him as a mentorship type of thing. And then you get the King of the Mountain match, Brown versus Eli Drake. I'm not even in camera range with the hand, but before the match, Eli Drake still in the show with the promo. I already know what people in the IWC, the blind haters, are going to say. Oh, I didn't like the match because Eli Drake boxed the fucking pose, you idiots. He's posing on slippery ropes, and he's doing it. It's a weird pose he does. That's what people are going to talk about. It's a pose. And how is it on TNA that a wrestler came out there and posed? Like, people are fucking idiots. If you hear somebody say that, this is a type fucking idiot in their comment section. Anyway, they complain about a botch pose, but won't say anything about botch moves in other companies. That's the bias I'm talking about in the IWC. But anyway, this was a pretty solid match for what it was. You get Eli Drake. At one point, Brown, he pulls up the concrete and he tries to go for the brighter side of suffering on the concrete, but Eli Drake counters that into a back body drop, so he starts working on the back or whatever. And then at the end of the match, Brown, he does end up hitting the brighter side of suffering, but Eli Drake, he gets back into the ring after Bram rolls him in and hits his finisher, blunt force trauma, which is a headlock, front headlock into a jumping knee. I don't know why I'm motioning you. You know, you should have video. If you're on internet, you should go and see finisher. Headlock, jumping knee to the right of the chin, to the upper of the chin, and then a stiff clothesline. Okay, blunt force trauma, like the name, and you don't really see combination finishers, so just because of Eli Drake, I'm gonna give it a pass for what it was. But absolutely the right decision. And I hear a lot of people crying and bitching about, oh, it's the King of the Mountain title. Why isn't it defending King of the Mountain match? It's the King of the Mountain title, not the fucking King of the Mountain match. It would be stupid as fuck for every fucking match in the King of the Mountain title to be defended in a King of the Mountain match. How, like, okay, so you have two people in the King of the Mountain match. How fucking stupid. Like, okay, I understand it has a title, King of the Mountain, but people, can you let it build to that point? Oh, the Slammiversary always had King of the Mountain match. Yeah, because it was for the world title, and world title had built some clout. You know, it was built up to that. So, you know, a whole bunch of people were gunning for the belt. Only two people right now are involved in this storyline for the King of the Mountain title. Let it build up to get 2 to 6 people, more than 2 people, whatever, involved in the match. You can't have a King of the Mountain match every fucking match because let's look at it. Brown defended a King of the Mountain match, and EY did too, and it was mad. Like, every match has to be a King of the Mountain match because it's a King of the Mountain title. I call bullshit and stupidity. Let it build up to that where the belt gains enough prestige to where everybody wants the belt. Everybody wants the King of the Mountain title. Then you have a King of the Mountain match for the title. Don't just, oh, King of the Mountain belt. Let's have a King of the Mountain match every time we fucking feel like. No, storylines first. People are crying about storylines. Storylines first. Let Eli Drake build up some prestige, and then where he's established himself as a big of a heel to where everybody wants that fucking belt. Then King of the Mountain title match for the King of the Mountain title. It only makes sense. Anyway, moving on. You get into Ethan Carter III versus Mike Bennett. Good. This was another one of the standout matches. A lot of near falls here. Get even like Michael Bennett hit his finisher Miracle in Progress on a steel chair due to distraction from Maria. Look, I'm gonna be completely honest. I think the match they had on Impact Television was a little bit better. I'm just saying, the match wasn't bad, and you know it was solid, but I think a lot of people got confused here. Like, it, it wasn't what I expected. I expected more of this match. I expected just all out straight wrestling in a bitter feud. It kind of felt like that, but then on the other hand, it didn't all deliver. Like, I don't know what it was missing. Maybe because these guys are such good athletes, they kind of counter out each other. I don't know. I like the match, but and again, I kind of like, okay, EC3 won. I'm still like, I don't know. It wasn't as hyped up, and to tell you the truth, I really wasn't too hyped up for this match. This wasn't one of the matches I was looking forward to on the card. I enjoyed it, but I don't know why. I don't know what that feeling was that I really couldn't feel this EV3 versus Bennett. Not saying it was a bad match. I thought it was very good, but as far as excitement, I didn't get that excitement feel from it. Anyway, moving on, Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy. Matt Hardy's new music, magnifique, with the piano and the dark somber tone. Anyway, this match, it did not feel like a wrestling match, and that's a great thing. It felt like a personal, bitter fight, and they were putting out everything: keyboards, kendo sticks, chairs, everything, and it was just a violent masterpiece. In the end, I wish they wouldn't have went with this. Jeff Hardy ends up getting the victory with a swanton through a table on the outside. I don't know. With all the momentum that Matt Hardy's character is getting right now, I think Matt Hardy should have picked up the victory because Jeff Hardy's momentum is endless. Like you just can't stop his momentum. Matt Hardy, he needed this win to pick up momentum and establish another great heel in TNA. I just don't get that decision. I understand it was a cool spot, the swanton off the top rope to the outside onto the table, and I just don't know if this was a time for Jeff Hardy to get another victory like that. I wish Matt Hardy would have won, but still, one of the best matches on the card. Then you move into the tag team match. Decay defend the titles against the Bromance. The promo that Decay cut before the match, awesome. The Monster Abyss was on top of his game. Rosemary, Chris, it was just love Decay on the mic, more Decay on the mic. Then you get into the match. There was a part of the match where Jesse Goddard's press slam Rosemary. I tweeted out Jesse press slam Rosemary, not a feeling this to go wild or whatever. Anyway, this match, another one with what do I call it? What's the thing where like not surprises, but moments where you thought like Decay was gonna win. Where I think Rosemary she mistakenly spit the mist into Abyss's eyes, and Abyss he was like disoriented and he accidentally choke slams Crazy Steve. They get Abyss out of the ring, and then they hit the bro down on Crazy Steve, and then it goes right into the Adonis. Like I'm thinking, wow, they could really, the cat could lose these titles because Abyss is out. He's still blinded, but then you have Rosemary coming to the ring trying to break it up, but then she's stopped by Raquel, and then she gets stopped by Raquel. They fight on the outside because I think Crazy Steve hit Jesse with the title, but he kicked out because another referee had to come down because while he was in the Adonis slot, there was no referee. So another referee came down. Jesse kicks out, and then he gets put in the Adonis slot again, Crazy Steve, and then Abyss gets up, and he tries to, I guess, choke slam Jesse, but Jesse gets out of it. Rosemary gets involved again. Then Raquel gets in, and they have to break it up or whatever. And as he's breaking it, I got it confused a little bit. But either way, I think that after that match, after this one, after he gets out of it, Abyss, he hits a he puts Crazy Steve, they put Crazy Steve into the Adonis slot again, and he breaks it up. Abyss hits the black hole slam on Jesse Goddard's, and then he takes Crazy Steve and powerbombs him onto Jesse, and Crazy Steve gets the pinfall victory on the Bromance. I like the match. It had a lot of, like I said, exciting moments where you thought, okay, Decay are going to lose the belts. But then you get to the main event. Bobby Lashley versus Drew Galloway in a win by submission or knockout. Right off the bat, Drew Galloway hits the Claymore. He hit like 5 or 6 of these things in this match, and it still didn't keep Lashley down. Galloway hit a sharpshooter on the steel steps. Still couldn't keep Lashley down. Like he was doing everything in his power to keep Lashley down. There was a spot where he put Lashley on a table. He tried to do a old sunset flip over the top. Lashley moved, Galloway through the table. Lashley starts punching him, just punching the shit out of him. And then as he's doing that, he gets back in the ring, he's like, count him out. Galloway just gets up like a fucking monster, and he's got all this blood gushing from his head. And he's like, Lashley, like, whoa, the guy's like fucking scary or whatever. Anyway, match ends. Galloway tries to go for another Claymore kick, but this time he gets caught. Lashley just clubs him with a big right hand. Galloway crumbles. Like, I don't know if he hit him for real, but he just hit like right to one knee, just like he was just loopy on his feet. Lashley goes right into a Anaconda Vice and chokes out Galloway and wins the title. And I'm just sitting there like, wow. On Galloway's first pay-per-view as a champion, he loses to Lashley, and there's no shame in that because he won in basically an MMA match, so it's legit. Now I'm just wondering where Galloway goes from here, and this is Lashley's third trip with the belt. I guess they're trying to bring credibility back to the TNA title because maybe Lashley's going to win the title, or they're thinking that Lashley's going to win the title in Bellator, and if that's the plan, bravo to TNA. That's going to bring a lot of, for what it is, it's going to bring more eyes to TNA. You got a Bellator champion and the TNA champion together. Hey, that's something that I don't know. Maybe he's trying to do with Lesnar, and I guess it's going to be a race to see who does it first. Well, I mean, of course, it's not going to be Lesnar because he's going on one fight. He's got to work his way up. Where I think Lashley, he's on track to now face for a Bellator heavyweight title. Oh, it's Bellator. Doesn't motherfucker? You getting that shit and get knocked out. UFC, MMA, you gotta knock a motherfucker out, choke somebody out. I don't give a fuck what brand it is, and I really don't care about MMA. It's like boring to me, but you don't discredit a Bellator champion or a UFC champion or whatever until you step in the ring. Like if you see Lashley with the belt and the TNA belt, oh, he's just a Bellator champion. Motherfucker, you fight him and take the belt away. Then we'll talk. Until then, shut your fucking filthy mouths about Bellator or any MMA competition. But I think that may be the plan. I think that's what they're probably thinking. Like Lashley may win a Bellator heavyweight title, and then they have him as TNA champion. That could be an interesting thing, and it could help build somebody who beats him. I don't know. I'm looking forward now. It makes me look forward to Lashley versus Galloway Part 2 or 3. I don't know how you would look at it now. Maybe, yeah, Part 3. Anyway, I enjoyed Slammiversary. Like I said, solid show, some standout matches. And if any asshole says it was a bad pay-per-view or worse, look, man, don't even comment. You can't. I learned something. You can't be a troll because I may do it a little bit, just a little bit myself, but most of the time, people are lying to themselves. They just like to lie. Like motherfuckers love to lie, especially on the internet, because coddling WWE fanboys are saying, by saying, oh, it was because it's TNA. It's what gets some views, and a lot of these guys, they rely on TNA hate and sucking off WWE. I'm just saying, that's truthful. They coddle WWE fans. They don't tell them that other wrestling shows are good because it'll drive. Oh, you said something else was good besides WWE. Oh, I can't watch you anymore. Instead of giving their honest opinion about a show, like I said, it wasn't a perfect show. Was it the greatest wrestling show of all time? No, but it was a solid pay-per-view for the money. And that's all I really have to say about the pay-per-view. If you saw it, let me know. And if you haven't, check it out. I think it's worthy of your time to at least check out the pay-per-view. There were no bad matches. There were like a couple standout matches, and that's it. Like 3 or 4 standout matches, and the rest were just like, okay, solid matches. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll catch you guys later. And I'm trying to think of something else. I guess I'll review Ring of Honor tomorrow, and then Raw, maybe. It all depends. Anyway, like to hear your comments on TNA Slammiversary below in the comments. Blah 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 blah. Brother Nero, why did I lose? You stopped my momentum.